Sting. Woo!
Oh my god, we've got a fruit basket, Tom. Hi, Tom.
Hey, fruit basket. Wait, fruit basket?
Yeah, fruit basket, Tom, because I own fruit baskets for shilling.
Okay.
Oh my god, I'm echoing myself. God damn it.
No, Brit, it's because he is a fruit basket.
That's his Twitter handle now. Fruit basket, Tom. Wow. So.
Hi, Mom.
Oh, there we go. Hi, Mom. Yeah. Yeah, Mom. You're late. How dare you? How dare you be late, Mom? God, you're supposed to be my #1 fan here, and you're late? God, my mom is late for my stream. Oh my God, I'm just.
Oh my God.
So
Man.
Just so freaking mad.
Man.
Oh.
Man, go make me a sandwich.
Rip off. The lights aren't on.
Well, nobody's here to see your lights anyway.
I know.
Just go get some LSD and there'll be some fake lights. You'll be good.
I know.
So, how's everybody doing?
Wow, that's actually kind of cool, and that's cool and spooky at the same time on that side. Wow.
Thank you. How are you?
Wait, totally ignore that question.
Hmm.
And now nobody's saying anything. Oh my God.
I just said, how are you?
I was like, so how everybody doing? And they're like, wow, look at those lights. That is pretty cool.
Like,
yes.
All good, sweetheart. How are you?
Yep.
Tom says a stream just for him and Hazel.
Yeah,
oh, now they turn on. Son of a bitch.
It's always like this. When I come prepared with content, nobody's here. When I'm unprepared with content, everybody shows up. My grandma actually used to have this sign above her stairwell. And it used to say, when I'm right, nobody remembers. And when I'm wrong, nobody fucking forgets. And I'm like, true.
Yep.
True.
Preach.
Preach the choir, sister.
Yeah, I blame Sinatra. It's all his goddamn fault. I'm going to have to, send him a message and be like, Sinatra, stop fucking streaming, damn it.
Quit hogging the viewers.
Exactly. I mean, I know I'm stealing your audience, but...
Yeah, you've got a chance to hear genuine, bona fide, 100% goddamn American road rage.
Yeah, you can't get anywhere else.
Bullshit.
I'm good, Tom. I'm good. How you doing, my man? My man?
My man.
Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Can you hear us?
Good. Yes.
I can't.
Well, that's good.
Fuck off.
He said he could, and you said, "Wow, man, really good relationship. Really good relationship y'all got there. Y'all sound like, huh?
He can hear me. He can hear me. He's just being a dickhead.
A trucker apparently here's the only place that we get genuine blind rage. Ooh. Oh, that blind rage. I just got so much of it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, while I'm just adding filler until, there's more people to absorb today's content, I got Chloe's Meow Box today, and it was fucking amazing.
All right, I will be back in a second.
Woodwing.
Okay.
No, I'm changing. No, I'm changing from my backup computer to my normal one.
Damn, y'all think I got a lot of money?
Take your time, darling.
Because it's finished doing whatever it was doing now.
You think I got a lot of money? You got a spare computer? Sheesh.
Well, no, not really. Britt gave me a spare PC, so I'm talking to you on the crappy laptop I've been using for years.
Did you have to give her Nookie for that, Peter?
Yes, I fucked the PC right out of her. All right, I'll see you in a minute.
That's why she's been racist, so racist for the last few hours.
Wow.
Anyway.
Wow. Jesus. I really need to start clicking that 18 and older button. So, all right, well, I'll get to some, shenanigans news.
Do what?
Shenanigans news? I mean, we can't get into our debate without people here to debate us. That would be like crazy. So I got to get into some shenanigans news.
Yeah, because if you don't get to hear us and don't get to watch us, what good is it? What good is our debating skills? If there's nobody can enjoy it, because we are master debaters.
Totally. Hey man, I was captain of my debate team, sir.
So you were a master debater?
At one point in time.
You can.
I'm black.
Sweaty. Yeah.
No wonder Britt hates you.
Sweaty. He says to flip the bean.
Man, I learned something really crazy the other day. I thought like everybody that had a different skin color also had a different kind of penis, and apparently they all look the same.
Yeah, I mean, really.
It either looks like a sea urchin or like a little sea creature wearing a helmet, or a snake wearing a sweater.
Wow. Yeah, well, anyways, so like I was making a joke with somebody once, and they were like doing beading patterns, and I'm like, you want to make me a penis? And she's like, I would love to bead you a penis. She's like, what color do you think it should be? And I'm like, make it a nice brown one for all them natives. And she's like, actually, all penis colors are the same. And I'm like, really? She's like, yeah, you didn't know that? And I'm like, I'm not aware.
No, they're not.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they're not all the same color.
Aw.
No.
I mean, really.
But, who are we to destroy this illusion for you?
Because I used to be weirded out because, like sperm is just so gross. So I thought on a black penis it'd be even more disgusting.
I mean, to be fair, it's not like we could prove it to you anymore.
True. So now I wouldn't notice. But at the time I could see, and I was like, man, that jizz must look really gross on a black penis.
Oh, lordy.
That was where my mind went in my youth of naiveness. Yeah, anyways.
I was going to go somewhere grosser that then, but I choose not to.
Wait, there's grosser than what we were just talking about? Really?
Yeah.
It looks like a scoop of strawberry ice cream on top of a chocolate cone.
I was going to say milkshake, but anyway.
I was going to say grilled cheese sandwich.
Same away again.
Hey, Blind Press. Hey,
Hey,
Zombie Teddy.
Hey, Press, you want to
Hello,
join us?
Brian Press.
Going?
Blind Press, we were talking about jizz to get you to come in here.
Actually, I think having another Canadian to talk about this might be interesting.
Yeah.
Not
Oh God, something tickled Tucker.
I'm just remember that one Twitch stream of yours. I sit there saying somebody ought to taste somebody else's salty taste not.
Okay,
Oh.
okay. Press, you did walk into jizz talk, but that was because I thought all penises were the same color. And now I'm just wondering the contrast between jizz and penis and how disgusting that would be. I have a real thing against jizz.
Yeah.
It depends. Believe it or not, the differences in semen depends on what he eats.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's not always good, so I say gas the jizz.
I agree. Gas the fucking jizz, man.
Disavow.
Disavow.
But we're talking about jizz, not Jews.
Double disavow.
Spunk, not kikes.
Like, just
We're all going to hell, aren't we?
Could you set jizz on fire? Is it flammable?
No.
No.
I mean, really?
Well, I mean, it would be an interesting science experiment.
Well, if you want to set it on fire, wait for it to dry.
My jizz is on fire.
Peter, if you're
Okay,
on fire, you need
why
to
am
see a
I-
doctor.
Peter, why am I imagining that that one scene from Ghost Spirit of Vengeance? He
I've
pees
not
like a
seen
flamethrower.
Dude, if your jizz is on fire, man, you need to see a doctor, dude.
Yes, that does sound like a UTI, at least.
'Cause I got this burning sensation when I pee. I got a damn good feeling you're the one that gave it to me.
By the way,
I got creepy, crawly crabs crawling all over me. Them itchy little bastards, they just won't let me be. Anyway.
This is why Trucker mutes his streams, because that's all you hear for the whole 8 hours.
So Tom's not a big fan of jizz either. I applaud this anti-jizz movement.
Yeah, is that what the song Sex is on Fire is about? Yeah. We've done that gag.
Anti-jizz movement, man. I think as a feminist, I should not have to put up with your jizz.
Feel my heat, making you higher, burn with me. Jizz is on fire. Anyway.
Yeah. So I had things prepared for tonight, and then it took a little longer for people to come in.
And then it turned into the dirty crash of the stream first thing.
Yeah, well, it's because I was waiting for more people to enjoy this debate because I want some like chat feedback too, which is why I'm going to be excited when Press can help me with this because she's a lot more knowledgeable of how the government works here because she's way more invested in this country than I am.
Should we see if she would like a link?
I gave her one in Twitter.
Okay.
Oh, well.
Then the link has been sent. It's up to her.
Yeah. Oh, God, I think I'm allergic to my cat or something. She just like brushed herself up like near me, and I'm like, no, don't touch me. My mic's gonna freak out, and then it just sneezed in her face, and she ran away.
Man, you's allergic to bullshit, and we're spreading it thick already. Woo woo.
Ugh. Don't do ass to mouth, guys. That's all I gotta say about that. So what we're waiting for possibly a Press. Interestingly enough, California congressman sues Twitter for $250 million over shadow bans on conservatives. And I was watching them talk about it today, and where they have like a very, very long list that they presented of how conservatives will get banned, like the first strike. But then there's like pages upon pages of harassment from the left to a conservative that they just allow to let happen from checkmark.
Can I point something out real quick? He's suing for. Well, he's suing for a lot more than that 250.
Well,
he's suing for two. I know. But in the article in a different place, it says he's suing for $250 million of damages and $350 million punitive. So he's total suing like.
I hope he gets it because, like, social media is trying to say we're just a public square. We're a public square. We're a public square. Yet they continue to influence people in such a way to their own warped sense of reality. So they're not a fucking public square anymore. I mean, they have so much influence over people that, I mean, they probably influence elections more than Russia. That was a joke, by the way. Well, the Russia thing, not that they have influence and such, but the Russia thing, like, you can't sit there and say we are a public square and then only shut down one side of the debate. Like, you can't have it both ways. And so I really hope that Twitter actually does face consequences for its fucking bullshit. And I hope they hit fucking Facebook and Instagram and everybody else too and be like, cut this shit out.
Cut it out, guys.
Yeah, like, cut this fucking shit out. So yeah, I hope he kind of wins. I don't think he will, but I hope he kind of wins.
Blind Press is just waiting for damn kids to stop whining.
Okay, fair enough. Well,
so when they go to college?
So the debate topic that I pulled out of my ass today was everybody's stance on assisted suicide, physician-assisted suicide. Canada is last year or the year before that, the Supreme Court had shot down a bill to allow for physician-assisted suicide because there wasn't enough stipulation as to what the parameters were for when you could die legally. And Quebec basically said, oh, you guys shoot this down in Supreme Court. Okay, we make this legal now because we don't like you. We're fucking Quebec. And so they're making a second push to try and pass it again. And anybody who objects about the parameters of what is classified as illegal assisted suicide is being called a Christian or an old boomer with no nuance. And basically, even Christians, most Canadians will agree that if you have a terminal illness and that you're going to die a slow, painful death in agony, that giving you the dignity to pass away mercifully should be your right. However, they haven't put enough stipulations in the bill yet to stop, say, insurance companies or other people from using it nefariously to say end an elderly person's life before it was their decision to go. And once that happens, it's really hard to prove that that happened. It's really hard to prove that that person didn't want euthanasia. And so a lot of insurance companies or even family members that are so-called burdened by the cost of looking after them or the plight of looking after them, they're worried that there's going to be an increase in elderly death because it's cheaper, because it's easier, because it's convenient. And the last bit of the argument that they're having is they're saying, we want to make sure that everybody has access to this service, even those that are living at home with relatives, that even a health nurse could recommend assisted suicide. So let's say you're looking after your parent and they're living with you. They can have access to euthanasia as well.
You know, if someone ever suggested that to my granddad, I would actually beat the living shit out of them.
And I mean, what's stopping them from doing that? You know, like I can see like someone with a tumor, they're going to die anyways. It's going to be an agony. You might as well alleviate their suffering if they choose to do so. But that can be expanded into, I think, way more power than the government fucking deserves.
You let me over, dude? Why, thank you.
And there's just way too much cause for error. And so the government's response to there's too much cause for error is, well, let's test it out and wait and see and work at the kinks as we go. And I'm like, so how many casualties before you work at the goddamn kinks? Because the government ain't good at working on any other goddamn kinks. What makes you think they're going to work on the goddamn kinks before people innocently die from this? And so they're having a debate about whether family members should be allowed to have power of attorney over euthanasia, which I don't think they should. And they're also trying to say, well, what if you wanted to sign something saying you wanted to be euthanized if your dementia got too bad, which you'd have to specify exactly what you would class as too bad. But if your mind goes and you're not of sound mind, it would then be too late to sign that bill. And they're saying, well, that's not fair. If you have dementia, you should be allowed to die with dementia. And I'm like, but when you have dementia, your day-to-day wants and needs differ. Like, your mind's gone. You can't make that decision on your own. And so it leaves room for a very blurry line in which I think insurance companies are going to use to not want to pay out.
Can I make an observation so far? to where it's to
That's
about
the
this.
point of the debate.
Okay, it seems like for the very beginning, they are actually using the wrong terminology. They keep talking assisted suicide. I think what they're wanting is arbitrary. It's arbitrary euthanasia, not assisted suicide.
Okay, but even if you change the word, it doesn't change what it is. You know?
True, but we're talking a subject where we're talking about somebody else having the decision over whether or not you live or die. But they're talking of that decision, whether somebody else can decide whether you live or die. Once somebody else does it, it's not suicide anymore. It's not, once it happens, it's not suicide. It's just straight out euthanasia. It's killing. It's the accepted killing of somebody else for whatever reason.
Physician-assisted suicide.
Right, but it's not suicide.
Or physician-assisted euthanasia. They've used both terms. They can't seem to pick one. It depends on who they're talking to, I guess.
They're trying to lessen the blow of what they're advocating.
Yeah, and they're saying that it should be accessible to everybody, and it should be so easy to make that decision. And I'm like, it should never be easy to make that goddamn decision. And it should never be, I mean, we did the safe and rare shit for fucking abortion. They're not even claiming it to be safe and rare for this case. They're just saying, everybody, even a telehealth nurse should be able to give you the resources for assisted suicide. It's like, what? A telehealth nurse? I don't fucking think so. I don't want to be able to call somebody and say, yeah, I want to die, and they can just give me the goddamn papers. Like, what the fuck? They're even saying, people like midwives should have the credentials to be able to do so. And I'm like, midwives are fucking assisted births. They have nothing to offer this system. Why the fuck would you bring up midwives, you dumb cunt? Mind you, midwives do have the power to perform abortions, but that's another topic for another day of rage. So yeah, chat, what are your thoughts?
Anybody who's willing to kill a member of the family for whatever reason, instead of for example, if say your grandparent is not terminally ill, but they have a certain cancer that gives them a bit of jip every now and then, like for example my granddad, but the doctor says he's going to outlive his cancer. But if someone made the decision to kill him just because he's got cancer, that's fucking wrong.
Yeah. And it basically makes it easy for people to say, this is an option I can have if I don't feel like I can handle looking after my grandparents or my parents. It makes it too easy to have a way out and to take the easy road instead of the difficult one where they may still have a few years of life left. And they are essentially waiting to die. But it's a very icky subject, and I don't like that they're trying to make it so normal.
Yeah, I agree with you. It shouldn't be an easy decision, and it shouldn't be made an easier decision in any way, shape, or form. I'm not saying I'm absolutely dead against that. I do happen to think there are situations where
choosing to die with dignity would be preferred.
Yes, but it shouldn't be as simple as, well, if things get too bad, we can just kill you.
Yeah, because like I said,
that'll make them feel.
Exactly, and some people don't want to be a burden on their kids, and so they'll choose to die instead of being looked after because they're too proud of it. And I feel like that's going to be easily accessible. And then let's say somebody was euthanized and they didn't want to die. How can we prove that? It would be like a rape case. They're very hard to prove without substantial amounts of evidence. It's a he said, she said. So I feel like it's going to be a very easy avenue to fuck shit up. And that makes me extremely uncomfortable because I've seen how a lot of the world is shifting where we don't look after our fucking babies, we don't look after our elderly, we don't look after our pets, and this is like an easy fucking solution. Well, you know, instead of making more babies to look after the aging population, let's just throw them on an ice floe out to die. Let's just do that.
Seriously,
And
we're
exactly, asshole. But you know, I don't like that they're trying to normalize this, especially after the Supreme Court said no, we shouldn't. No. When they have a more solid parameter for what is allowed, then maybe I'll be more comfortable with what they're trying to pass. But they don't even, their literal response is, well, we'll just wait and see and work out the kinks as we go. It's like, this is a human life here. You can't just,
To be fair, to be fair, the way they seem to be passing this bill does seem a little bit rushed and slapdash.
Yeah, and they're saying, you know, Canada could be, you know, going in a direction on the frontier of things that have never been explored before, except by Sweden and I think one state in America. And so they're saying we should be on top of this and you know, take a more nuanced approach, and we should be on the forefront of this new legislation because this is the Canada that we want it to be, you know, more understanding to those dying in agony. And I'm like, okay, but we're not saying shouldn't help people dying that are in agony. We're saying there's way too many variables where this could be used very dangerously. And the fact that you're just blowing it off and going, you're just a Christian, tells
once
me
they
that
bring
narrative.
Once they bring in, or they need to acknowledge that they are advocating for arbitrary euthanasia, not just suicide. If it's suicide, if it really is suicide, you know, 100% absolute suicide, where the person decides it themselves, does everything themselves, takes the pill themselves, you know, what's the difference between a doctor giving them a lethal dose of some sort of medication or them taking a gun and blowing the brains out?
Yeah.
So that there is absolutely nothing you can do to say right or wrong. That's not your decision to make. That's that person's. Now, when it comes to arbitrary, there is absolutely zero way to guarantee the, you know, unless it's in writing, registered somewhere, you know, notarized and registered. There's nothing that anybody, you know, unless it's absolutely notarized, registered before the person's mental capacity started to diminish. There's nothing they can say later to say, well, he wanted to kill himself. Prove it. You know, without any kind of registered form somewhere, you can't prove it. Therefore, deal.
Exactly. And I think like without specific parameters to specifically state exactly what will allow this, I don't think we should be rushing this bill. And you know, that's really all I have to say about that.
What's getting me angry is that these people are, you know, are like a family. How can you just push them aside and kill them? But that doesn't matter. I mean, that's what
some
people.
The thing, right? Just to clarify, because Tom of Gull City brought up a good point. Right, he's written in the chat. My gran is 95. She has no joy in life anymore. Lots of pain, etc. Lives in assisted living. Is no burden to her family. She is still fully lucid and wants out for no good reason, though. What if
she wants to die?
Yeah, she wants to, but she's fully lucid and she gets because she gets no joy in life. She has lots of pain. She lives in assisted living, but is no burden to her family. Now
that's on her.
Yeah, it's on her. I still think, though, it should be the absolute last thing that a doctor would help her do. I'm not saying the doctor absolutely shouldn't, but it should be the last. What I'm saying is there are other avenues. There's counselling and things like that.
That's a good point, that people might want to die because of loneliness. Or just because they don't want to deal with it anymore. And that fine line between depression and needing to die, that's another line that can be blurred. And,
you thumb dick son of a bitch. Get that piece of shit out of the fucking way. My God, he listened.
Broke the mood.
Yeah, that's right, you piece of shit. Get out of the goddamn way, you son of a bitch.
Remember, this podcast is co-hosted by Tourette's Trucker.
My
I expect that kind of prick waving from a thumb dick who drives a Ford.
My mom sent a link in the chat that my screen reader won't read, so I sent it to you.
It's already in your Discord. When I was looking at the news that had appeared in your Discord earlier, it's in there as well.
Oh.
So
well, I sent it in your Twitter, my friend, because I can't read it, and Trucker is driving.
Yeah, if it's the one Hazel sent, then I've already opened it anyway.
Oh, well, there you go. Then it should be totally easy for you to tell us all about it in your sexy British voice.
Girlfriend in the room.
Crappy Slayer, exactly like a DNR. It exactly like a DNR, Crappy Slayer, but a DNR in the same sense. A DNR, it isn't actually a suicide. It's just a don't save my life.
Yeah, and I mean, we've been comfortable with DNRs for quite a while too.
Yeah.
Especially since resuscitation can have really bad after effects as well. Like you wake up in worse condition than you left by being resuscitated. It's just, yeah, I don't know. I feel really, really cautious about them trying. Like it's already been shot down in the Supreme Court, which means a judge ruled that, look, there's just too many variables here. You got to tighten this bill up a bit. And they're just trying to pass the same thing again. They're just figure if we just keep trying to run it over and over and over again, somebody will say yes.
And they're just ignoring.
Yeah, and they're just ignoring the flaws in their fucking argument and just saying, well, it's the Christians. And I'm like, well, that tells me right there that you're fucking, if you're going to just say, well, it's the fucking Christians, that tells me right there that you're being disingenuous. Like, learn to, learn to support your idea intellectually. Don't just say, oh, it's the Christians. Like, that just fucking pisses me off when people take the easy way out.
But the thing is, this is a member of your family, someone who's either brought you up or, taken care of you or done a lot for you, and you're just willing to let them die. And the fact that they come right across, say, oh, well, you know what, let them die, kind of gets me angry.
Well, because, I mean, certain family members, like, let's say there's only one of them looking after their parents or their grandparent, and, they feel very hopeless. They feel like there's no way out because they're working and then looking after them and then trying to look after their family. I can see where they might hit a breaking point, but making that breaking point come to the conclusion we should euthanize or assisted euthanasia, and to make that an easier option than the latter, I think is just too goddamn tempting for some people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like Fishing Guy.
It just makes my blood boils. I think people can treat the elderly like that.
Yeah, like, I don't know how deep I can go into that, but essentially Fishing Guy's looking after his mom. He has siblings, but they don't really do as much as he does. And, I see him stressed out about it. But Fishing Guy, I don't think you would be like, yeah, arbitrary suicide, man. I can't deal with this anymore. Just kill it. And that's what they're trying. That's what this bill will allow for. They haven't worked out how to make it so that it's the last option. They've made it so it could very well be the first option. And I think that's a big flaw and a big problem. And they really need to cut that shit out and work and fix the kinks before they pass it, instead of pass it and then fix the kinks. Because That's just a flawed system. It's a very flawed system.
I don't care what they say, it's murder. Either way, it's still murder.
Yeah, it is. It really is. I mean, we're in an age now where infanticide and killing of the elderly are passable things, and that kind of narrative is just it's becoming it's becoming too real for people, and I don't think people understand how real that is. That we can say, you know, let's off somebody, or let's kill a baby that survived abortion. Like, I throw both of those into the same goddamn bucket of just narrative pushing without justifying it. Like, people have just gone way too far left now and are way too comfortable taking human life.
Mm.
Just sick. I mean, what the fuck happened to like the government now? They don't even appreciate life.
Yeah, I don't understand it
Like,
either.
it's nothing to them.
I mean, our youth are so entitled that would they really even be willing to look after the goddamn parents, you know? They probably just use that as
Probably not.
points. Like fucking victim points. Oh, I gotta look after my grandmother. I gotta put my life on hold and sense of entitlement to look after somebody because they're my family. Like, like we should just be able to just like, you know, help them, you know, because it's just not fair, you know, like there are things that I just want to do, you know, and it's so hard, and I don't make enough money because I'm a fucking pizza delivery man to put them in a goddamn nursing home, and it's just the government doesn't help us any, and you know, we should have this readily available because it's my right to choose, or some bullshit like that. No flake whiny voice. Did I nail that?
Yes.
Sweet.
To be fair, that voice was so irritating, I actually shut off halfway through. like nails on a chalkboard.
Yeah, that was the whole fucking point.
Yeah.
Like, goddamn it.
Point taken.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That article that my mom sent, that's already going to make me upset. That my screen reader won't read, but I think I know which one it is, and I think I'm already going to get annoyed.
Her son died, and then anti-vaxxers attacked her.
What?
Not long ago, a 4-year-old boy died of the flu. His mother, under doctor's orders, watched his 2 little brothers like a hawk, terrified that they might get sick and die too. Grieving and frightened, just days after her son's death, she checked her Facebook page, hoping to read messages of comfort from family and friends. Instead, she found dozens of hateful comments. You're a terrible mother. You killed your child. You deserved what happened to your son. This is all fake. Your child doesn't exist. Bewildered and rattled, she closed her Facebook app. A few days later, she received a text message from someone named Ron. Expect more like this, Ron warned. Expect more. The attacks were from those who oppose vaccination, and his mother, who lives in the Midwest, doesn't want her name used for fear the attention would only encourage more messages. Interviews with mothers who've lost children and with those who spy on anti-vaccination groups reveal a tactic employed by anti-vaxxers. When a child dies, members of the group sometimes encourage each other to go to that parent's Facebook page. The anti-vaxxers then post messages telling the parents they're lying and their child never existed, or that the parent murdered them, or that vaccines killed the child, or some combination of all those. Nothing is considered too cruel. Just days after Just days after their children died, mothers say anti-vaxxers on social media called them whores, the C word, and baby killers. The mother in the Midwest, who wants to remain anonymous, you've told us already, MSN News, but isn't alone. Jim Primoli, who lives outside Toronto, lost her son to flu. She believes the anti-vaxxers are trying to silence the very people who could make the strongest argument for vaccinations. Those whose children died of vaccine-preventable illnesses. Flu took the life of Primoli's 2-year-old son, Jude McGee, 3 years ago. She's since started a campaign in his name for flu prevention, including vaccination. I know that these people are really trying to hurt me, and I understand that the reason they're doing it is because they want me to stop, she said. Larry Cook, the founder of the Stop Mandatory Vaccination, doesn't deny that such attacks on mothers of dead children exist. In an email to CNN, he wrote that members of his group make more than 500,000 comments on the group's Facebook page each month. Any discussions about parents who lose their children after those children are vaccinated would be minor in number, and even smaller would be the number of members reaching out to parents in private message to share their concerns that vaccines may have played a role in their death. So he's trying to play it down. I do not condone violent behaviour or...
We have a drunken uncle. Sorry.
Hey, drunken uncle. You can
Hey,
joke if you want, mate.
It's midweek though, isn't it? Whether he will or not. I do not condone violent behaviour or tone and encourage decorum during discussion, Cook wrote, adding that anyone who deliberately engages in the politics of advocating for compulsory vaccination where children may be further damaged through government vaccine mandates can expect pushback and resistance alongside knowledgeable discussions about vaccine risk in social media commentary. Cook said that some of the more than 160,000 members of his group have been targets of harassment campaigns and that police have actually showed up at my members' doorsteps. He added that he's been threatened and included a screenshot of a private Facebook message that said, "Finally found where you live. Finally, I'll be able to put a bullet in you. You're dead." Another anti-vaccination leader blamed the postings on grieving parents' pages on infiltrators who would try to create incendiary situations. And it's not us, it's the trolls, basically.
But this article doesn't say why the boy contracted the flu. Was it because he was anti-vax or because he was vaccinated? Like, why are they targeting these parents? Is it because they died from not being vaccinated and they want to speak out about it? Or is it because he got vaccinated and then died and they're claiming that it's the parent's fault for vaccinating?
I don't think the parent was even in the parent whose kid died was even in the argument at the time. I think it just might have been the kid caught the flu. It might have been one of two things: either the parent just didn't take the kid to be vaccinated, or the kid caught the flu before he could be vaccinated.
Or he was vaccinated against one kind of flu and caught another kind of flu, because aren't there like two kinds floating around now?
There's a few, yeah. There's a few. And yeah, the point of the article is that these anti-vaccination groups are jumping on to these people.
And doing what the internet does, which is anonymously being cunt bags.
Yeah.
You know, as someone who has lost a child, I swear to God, I would set those anti-vaxxers on fire. I really would. As someone who has, you know, held my dead baby, like, if anybody were to use that to fuel an anti-vaxxer movement and to essentially threaten me over the loss of my kid, I would fucking set them on fire.
Yeah.
Like,
this is actually quite a very long article, actually.
Well, this reminds me of the book Lord of the Flies. Anybody ever read it?
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, okay, so remember Lord of the Flies, when the kids put on face paint, they were able to be more vicious than when they didn't? And that was to symbolize the facelessness of people and the way that you can become a certain kind of animal, a certain kind of vicious person when you are wearing a mask. And the internet essentially is our fucking masks, where we can now be as fucking cunty and cruel as we want to be with no accountability. And it is spurred a fucking intense cruelty that I just don't understand. Like, I mean, some of these anti-vaxxers sending these threats must be parents themselves. Like, can they not sit there and go, like, regardless of the circumstance, like, oh my God, I'm sorry. Like, I can tell you, to lose a child is probably the worst thing that can happen to you. It really is. There's a lot of things that can go wrong in life. Losing a child is one of the worst pains anybody can feel. And for some people to just start adding salt to that wound to further anti-vax cause, that is disgusting. I used to have this thought that anti-vaxxers and vaccinated people, they had a common ground in that they were so fierce in the way they guarded their anti-vax beliefs, is because we all had common ground that we wanted to protect our children. And the reason it was so strong is that fear that it could damage our children. And so I thought we had common ground that we just wanted to protect our children. And when you go out and target someone who's lost a child, that common ground is gone. It's fucking gone. Like, holy fuck.
It's kind of like those people who use their kids to, like that kid who was become a drag queen. It's kind of like that. You know, they have a narrative, so they're going to use anything they can to push that narrative.
Mm.
Even if it's an innocent child, they don't give a flying fuck. They have to be right.
Nothing is sacred anymore. Nothing is fucking sacred.
Mm-mm.
I will just point out because Hazel brought this up to keep reading the article, and they're doing more and more and worse things.
Oh God. Okay, keep
However,
reading.
no,
I can get even more angry.
The article is ridiculously long. It would actually probably take us the rest of the stream to get through it. And have a discussion about it, stopping to discuss certain points and things like that. So what I'm going to do, if you do want to finish reading the article itself, I'll drop it back in the... No, that's actually the link to this stream. So yes, go and watch this stream that you're watching, people.
Yeah, that just... The fact that things are getting so intense like this that we will attack a parent after they've just lost such a child is just... It makes me like cats more than animals. Just my love for kitties has grown that much just stronger.
You mean cats over people?
Yeah.
Yeah. You said cats over animals.
Sorry. I'm just so
cool.
flabbergasted at the amount of cruelty that people can display when it's zero accountability. It blows my mind. The fucking the gall of these people, like, oh my God. Like, oh my God, that is just fucking terrible.
It just seems like human life means nothing anymore.
I mean, I am a part of a couple of anti-vax.
Human life don't mean anything anymore.
Like, I've joined anti-vax communities not to be an anti-vaxxer, but to learn their side of the discussion and combat it with better ideas.
Well, that's what that article I was reading, they touched on that as well, that there are people who will lurk in these anti-vaccination groups just to see, what it is they're saying, and they're the ones these reports were coming from, that this is what they're doing,
which is just despicable.
Yeah,
fucking despicable. Like, seriously, these kind of people should be set on fire. They really should.
Yeah, it's ain't no vaccine against being immolated, is there?
Yeah,
so
it's disgusting. It really is. is just fucking disgusting.
I mean, the worst part of it for me is the outright accusation that the child never existed in the first place.
Well, people like to say that to make things go away, right? If we just claim a conspiracy and that these kids never existed, kind of like, I think, isn't that what Alex Jones did to, was it a shooting that happened and he said it never happened?
Right, he was given bad information and was kind of taken along with other conspiracy theorists for a bit, and then he kind of woke up to it. And
yeah, but wasn't essentially from bad information what he was pushing is that it never happened?
Yes, that he was pushing that they were crisis actors, and he retracted it much later.
Yeah,
and I mean, might have had something to do with the fact he was being sued, but
well, I mean, a lot of people are doing that lately. We can erase history by saying this never happened. We can erase this by saying this doesn't happen. We can change science by saying this isn't true, you're a denier. Or we can change that this ever existed by just all banding together and saying, no, you're lying, this kid never was around. Like, people seem to think that if they just say it 50 times over, that it's true. And it's like so far from reality. It like, does everybody just suffer from psychosis all at once? Fucking psychosis. It's just so far from goddamn reality that when you look at it and you try to rationalize it, you fucking can't. And it just drives you crazy just trying to think, like, what the fuck are these people even thinking? Like, you think if you just say the kid never existed, that's what makes it true? Like,
As I said before, it's all down to narratives. I just think if they keep denying it, and trying to prove and this and that you're going to prove it's wrong. They don't believe anything unless
it's a fucking conspiracy now. Like, Jesus Christ. How low can you go? Like,
give it time, I'm sure they can get lower.
And I mean, these people really need to get some kind of we really need to start being able to enforce some kind of consequence. And I hate saying that because someone's going to say, you're advocating for censorship. No, I'm not. I'm just saying there should be consequences for this kind of hate. Really should be, because the more that we are condoning bad behavior like this, the more it's just going to keep growing and growing.
Well, because it's not just at this point, it's not just like disagreement over an issue or a topic or difference of opinion on something, is it? It's outright saying to someone, "You're lying. You're lying. Your grief isn't real."
And that everything is your fault.
Yeah.
It's just cruel harassment bullshit. And, like, for lack of a better term, these people should be fucking censored. In the ways that their group is just fucking disbanded or they're shut down from these social media sites. If you can't use it responsibly, you don't use it. And like, people are going to say again, Blind Girl, you're advocating for censorship. No, I'm advocating that we don't reward bad behavior. We stop giving them privileges to be able to do this. If you can't fucking use social media like a decent human being, then bye-bye. And that's going to cross over into the censorship realm. And
well, it needn't cross over into censorship, because it isn't censorship. If you are outright harassing someone over the death of their child, then get the fuck out, But if you're just having an argument and you're disagreeing and you're supporting one side of an argument and then you get kicked off, that's censorship.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure somebody in the extreme case is going to say, well, that's censorship, not understanding that, I'm going to be honest, I'm surprised that mother didn't kill herself. To be honest, if I had just, if when Hunter died, if I had gotten that much hate, you know what that does to a person? Because the mother is already sitting there going, oh my God, was there something I could have done? I wish there was something I could have done. Please, God, tell me this isn't true. Is there something I can do? And that hopeless feeling of watching your child pass and realizing you are absolutely helpless to do anything, and that anything that child may have been is no longer. The weight of knowing that mothers blame themselves for stupid shit all the time. So even when my son died for the first week, I was like, this is my fault. This is my fault. This is what did I do? This is my fault. I should have. And it's unrational, but it's there. And so to have dozens upon hundreds of people flooding in such cruel comments and then reaching your cell phone, and then like, I admire that woman's strength for not offing herself. I really do. Because that would be a situation to me where I would literally consider it, because there's grief, and then there's the loss of a child, and I can't even put those in the same box. I mean, I've lost family and it hurt, but child, it's not even on the same wavelength. And when you're a mother and you have a baby, there's a certain amount of hopes and dreams. There's these dreams that you create in your mind of all the things you're going to do with your child. You're going to take them to the park. You're going to see them on their first school day. You're going to watch them get married. There's all these hopes and dreams and this little life that you create in your mind of how things are going to be. And to have that all wiped away, and then have people beating you down on top of that, it's like the future doesn't exist for a while. You just go numb. You just shut down. And there's just so many dreams that get lost in the middle of that. And to have people try to exploit that for anti-vaxxer gain and to be just so cruel, it's unimaginable to me. It's just absolutely unimaginable to me how people can do that. I guess maybe I'm too close to that, but it's just, I can empathize with that, like, on a level that just, it's crazy real to me. It's crazy real to me. And I just, I wish that I could just reach out to her and say, I'm sorry. I really do. I wish I could just find her and be like, you know what? I understand. And I'm really sorry, like, that people would be this bunch of, where's that sound clip? Everybody's a fucking cunt sometimes. I need it right now. Where did I put it? Like,
oh, if I'd have had sound pad up, but the moment would have gone by the time I loaded it. So
yeah, right. Same here. I need to get used to loading that before I start streaming.
I'll sing it instead. Everybody's a bit of a cunt sometimes.
Agreed. Just fucking agreed. Unfortunately, this is a massive group of cunts all at once, and they've just mobilized to a point where I really hope Facebook does the right things and shuts them down. I really do, because this is absolutely unacceptable.
Come passive belief. It's no points of harassment.
Yeah, and I really hope that anybody in my chat takes away from this, that whenever they are being, gitty trolls online, that they think that they remember that there's a human being beside that screen, behind it. I really hope that anybody in my chat takes away from this. Pause when they're being a certain kind of troll once in a while. If you could take away anything from this stream, that would be what I would hope you'd take away from it, is that there is a human being behind that screen. And regardless of how cunty they're being.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's best not to be cunty back. Although sometimes it is quite hilarious. But yeah. NASA issues space herpes. Warning as virus reactivates in astronauts.
What?
I thought this would be a lighter note, but apparently, as per NASA, 4 human herpes viruses have been found to reactivate in astronauts.
In space.
On space shuttles and International Space Station missions. A study found that the virus were able to flare up because of the high levels of stress astronauts undergo during spaceflight. 53% of astronauts on shorter space shuttle flights and 61% of astronauts on longer missions had traces of fucking herpes. Whoops. So if you want to be an
They've
astronaut,
just been fucking each other, haven't they?
you want to be an astronaut, wrap your dick.
How do astronauts even have sex in those suits?
They don't always wear them.
Back to jizz. Would sperm float like liquid? Like, would there just be little?
Would it
jizz
float around like a bubble? Like
I think so.
Yeah, you'd have little jizz bubbles flowing around.
Just watch Blind Press pop in now. Now that we're back to jizz.
no, actually, how about a better question? So something as simple as a can of spray paint can propel you in space. So would a male achieving an orgasm provide him that same propulsion?
It depends on the philosophy.
Would vagina fluids float around too?
Oh, Jesus Christ, we're going there.
What if
vaginal ejaculation just be like, whoop, honey. Oh, so you did enjoy.
What if
that.
she's a squirter?
Yeah.
Same question as it being propulsion for a guy. If she's a squirter, would that be a propulsion for her? That's the same question. You don't know if you're coming or going.
Imagine the thing is, at least then he knows that she's faking it.
Yeah, you just got a vagina
the
bubble.
That was when he knows.
She's just there. She's just there in the bunk room of the ISS, having a bit of a play. The next minute, she's in the fucking control room.
At least it's a test to see whether she's.
And there's a trail.
Oh, here's one for you guys. Google is launching a game streaming service called Stadia. I don't know what I'm going to be reading, so I'm sure you guys can just figure out if this is good for you or not. But Stadia, Google's cloud gaming service, launches later this year. Google wants to make YouTube. Google wants to make YouTube a centerpiece for accessing and sharing game streaming. Content, apparently. Wait a minute. This sentence just make it. Okay, let me try this again. Okay, Peter's Hideaway, stop coming up on my screen. Okay. They want to make YouTube a centerpiece for accessing and sharing game streaming content. It was Mum on Stadia's complete game lineup. What the fuck does that mean? Though the upcoming Doom Eternal first-person shooter will be available in 4K. Period. Okay. Do you guys understand any of that?
Yes. Yes.
How much you want that? We'd have to pay for like the cloud thing because they're quite expensive.
Well, there are game streaming services out there. Steam has one built in, actually, as well. The Ouya, remember that failed console? That was supposed to have game streaming capability as well.
Well, apparently Google's cloud gaming service, Stadia, will launch later this year and support 4K game streaming. Stadia will run on a custom chip from AMD, which has the combined computing power of a Sony PlayStation 4 and an Xbox One. Google said at GDC, it will allow Google's data centers around the world to stream 4K gaming content and 60 frames per second with HDR and surround sound over any hardware, smartphone, tablet, Chromecast enabled TV or PC. All you'll need is access to the Chrome browser and a steady internet connection. Duh. In the future, Stadia will be capable of streaming games at 8K resolutions and at 120 frames per second. Oh, that's better than you, Peter. Google's cloud gaming service aims to make YouTube the centerpiece for accessing and sharing game streaming content. For instance, game developers will be able to post links to games in YouTube videos. Those who click will be able to immediately play the game in the Chrome browser. Aren't they a little late to the party with this?
Well, yeah, the idea of controlling a game through a streaming service isn't new. It's just Google clearly haven't jumped on it yet.
Well,
you can do it through PlayStation as well, and I think Xbox has cloud gaming.
Stadia is about removing barriers for players to get to their favorite contents and moments, said Google VP Bill Harrison. With Stadia, any link can be accessed to the game. Get all the women off of there because they're going to be pissed that people are teabagging them on their game.
You know what's on Brit's mind? Final Fantasy all the time. Stadia. Whoa.
What?
Sorry, that's the best I can do with Phil. That's the best I can do with the Phil Collins song off the top of my head.
What I might do actually is, because I'm in a perfect position to do this, not like right now, but either, well, tomorrow, I might actually test out Steam's game streaming thing. Like, try and play a game I've got installed on one PC on another that isn't installed on that one, and see how it works.
You know what, the really interesting, unique thing, I guess, to this is that the YouTube integration will also pave the way for professional game streamers to invite their followers to play with them during the matches. For example, watchers could queue up on the streamer's YouTube channel and wait for their turn to challenge the player. That could be interesting.
Oh, great! So it's going to be It's going to be the '80s. Put your quarter on the cabinet for the next turn, all over.
Yeah. Or in Peter's.
Am I the only one who actually remembers who knows that reference?
No, I got it.
Yes.
But in Peter's case, they're going to be waiting for him to die.
Oh, actually, here's one you'll like. I had to completely restart a game the other day.
Ran out of lives, huh?
No. In fact, today I had to do this because I was playing it and it was just a checkpoint system, right? For saving. So you get to a certain point of the game automatically saves at that checkpoint. In this game, I jumped off one platform that was slightly too high. So when I hit the ground, I'd have died. But as I fell through a checkpoint. So every time it reloaded me to that second just before I hit the ground and died.
That would be you.
You were playing Portal, weren't you?
No, I was playing Alan Wake.
April has a really good point. So if you lose your internet connection, you can't play the game.
Well, I'm
got Rosie. Yes. Hello, Rosie.
Hi, Rosie. Sure,
Do you
why
want
not?
me to send it? Do you want me to
Who's
send
got
it?
Be so kind, Peter.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Okay, just give me a second.
Here's a question: how drunk are you?
Rosie doesn't drink that often. She might be stoned off her tits, but she's not. She's likely not drunk.
Oh well, we can use with another stoner. Making out with your mailbox cat? Good job.
Meow.
Oh yeah, she's totally like in the box, just rubbing her face all over it. Like she's just like, yes, smother me with that orgasmic catnip.
There we go. Confirmed. Rosie's just said, "I've only just woken up. I'm stoned. I'm only stoned."
We can deal with some stoners. Stoners are good.
I just don't feel like typing. You are stoned, aren't you? Hang on a sec.
All of a sudden, we'll have Cheech Marin in here. Wow, man. It's like, wow.
Oh yeah, by the way,
Rosie, check your Discord DM.
we have a cute little article from New Zealand, but I am supposed to. Apparently, YouTubers are supposed to give the disclaimer that any ownership, spreading, or viewing of any of the moss shooting footage is illegal. But bereaved husband forgives mosque.
Do what?
Yeah, anybody possessing any of the footage from the mosque shooting in New Zealand, it's illegal.
Says who?
New Zealand.
I'll tell you what, dear New Zealand, how about you talk to Facebook?
Hello. Wait, catch you outside. That.
Hello, Rosie.
How's everybody doing?
We good. How is you?
Wow. You're right, Peter. We can hear the stoned already.
I'm sorry. I'm just really stoned. I just woke up and I found a joint, but there's a hole in my joint from a cigarette.
There's a hole in my joint, dear.
Yeah, so I have to...
Dear mother, dear mother.
I was just kidding, Mom.
Right. Rosie, as well, just regarding your avatar, we're actually live, don't you? And the hangout is actually on the screen.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Cool. I just thought I'd let you know.
Okay.
I'm not stupid. I just was in the stream, right? Like, I asked you for a link in the stream.
I just thought, as it's seen as though it's the picture of you fucking your dog.
Whitney, Wisconsin, what?
Whitney, Wisconsin, yes. Oh my god, I was just like the other day, I was I don't know if you guys watch Jackmate, but I like him so much, and he did like that stream on Whitney, Wisconsin, and I watch it like every couple of months because it's so funny. It just keeps me laughing because that bitch is so stupid.
I do the same with the Mundane Matt on the Ralph Retort stream.
Oh, I love Mundane Matt. He's awesome.
Well, no, he's a prat, but...
Yeah, I love watching twats.
As I was saying, the reason why
you must enjoy Peter's streams then.
The bereaved husband forgives the mosque gunman.
Oh.
Yeah, this article.
Who forgives who?
Okay, so the mosque shooting in New Zealand?
Yes, of course.
Well, this husband of someone who lost a wife stood up and forgave the mosque gunman.
I don't know, I thought women weren't allowed in mosques.
This is what I hate about leftist people, that like they always forgive everybody. It's like, oh no, he's Muslim, let's forgive him. It's so stupid. You fucking lost your wife. Be
Yeah,
mad, you
but the
know?
shooter was Australian.
Yeah, but as I said before, women are not allowed in mosques.
Well, apparently she was there.
Weird.
I mean, technically, there's 2 children in critical care too.
Oh,
No. Women
Did you
are.
guys hear about the shooting in Holland? Like,
Yes.
and 3 people are still in critical condition. 3 people died, and 3 other people are still in critical condition. And everybody's like, "Oh no, he's Turkish. He's a lone wolf. Let's forgive him." You know, like what?
Well,
Like,
there's
are
an
you
article here
serious?
that says Netherlands shooting attack suspect left note suggesting possible terrorist motive.
can I
No,
just?
it's an honor killing. He went for his ex-wife, where he already had a court case against him for raping her, and like he went for her, and other people in the tram, they tried to defend the woman and they got shot, and that's how they died. It was an honor killing.
Huh.
Can I just
know that.
quote George Lopez? Fuck that punter.
I know, right? Like, it's so stupid. And if it would have been like a right-wing person, they would have been like, "Oh my God, terror, blah blah blah." And now it turns out um he's like a foreigner and stuff like that. It's so stupid. Like, I don't know why it makes a difference.
So that guy killed his daughter because she didn't want to marry the guy he chose for her. She wanted to marry an Englishman. So he ran her over
Yeah,
just
like how
because
stupid
he's
is
a
that?
father.
I think it's really disgusting how people can choose whether or not to be upset because, like, oh, he's a Muslim, he killed his ex because he was mad at her, so let's forgive him because he's Muslim. Like, how
But
stupid
what
is that?
about that woman who died? I mean, what about her? Can they? She's gone now. No, the people who he killed. What about them? I was forgive him. Oh, poor Muslim man.
Yeah, exactly. It's
That's
really stupid.
point of order.
What?
The person that's doing the forgiving, it says more about the person who says I forgive him than it does say about the person who did it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes,
There's a
true.
certain strength to that.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same as with like the Chris Watts case, the guy who killed his family a couple months ago.
Oh yes, and he still has
His,
their picture fucking hanging in his jail cell.
yeah, and his the family of the woman that he killed, like his in-laws, they said we are against the death penalty, so let's just give him life. It's kind of the same. I think, Pumpkin, what you said, it's really true. The people who forgive him, even though they lost someone they love so much, it means they have a good heart. It doesn't mean that the killer has a good heart.
Well, I think being able to let go of your hate of somebody else is really better for you in the long run.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, they have a good heart.
Yeah, because I mean, to harbor hate for somebody is just more taxing on you than it is on them. It's not doing anything to them. It generally destroys you. So I always love hearing people stand out there and say, you know what, I'm going to let this go and I forgive this man, even though he's deeply disturbed, and I'm going to move on because it shows a kind of strength and it's, I mean, it's warm and fuzzies.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you.
All hugs to the Muslim man. All hugs. The love and the hugs and the peace signs. Are peace signs still okay, or are they hate speech too?
think they're hate speech towards hippies, aren't they?
Hey, don't attack the hippies. I like the hippies.
That's all right. The problem was that's all right. Nobody can attack the hippies. You can't get anywhere near them. I mean, the smell. Wow.
Wow.
Well, here in Holland, we still have like real hippies. Like there's a church near Amsterdam, and that church is like filled with hippies, and there's like two streets of houses next to the church, and that whole area is like invaded by hippies. And
They're hipsters. Because
yeah, no, real hippies. They're like 50, 60 years old, and they only smoke weed, and every weekend they have parties at the church. But during the week they have like seminars, like climate change seminars and stuff like that, you know, like
stop turning dolphins into tuna seminars and
yeah, something like that. Yeah.
butter seminars and
Yeah,
honey save the bees seminars and
exactly. Yeah. Exactly that.
sundogs, man, because that sun.
There's actually a hippie commune within, we'll call it 20 miles from my house. There's actually an honest to God functioning hippie commune that's been around since the 60s. And
Yeah, well, that's exactly the same as in that church. What I'm talking about, and I
well,
kind of like it. I
this
like going
place
there.
they make their money off of two things. It's not the one I'm talking about. It's not open to the public, but they make money off of two things, and it is so stereotypical. It's pathetic. They make hand-woven hemp hammocks and tofu.
I actually agree with the hand-woven hemp blankets because, like, actually, you
You
can make
try
a
and
lot of
smoke
good
it.
stuff with that, you know?
I was going to say, Rosie, you would try and smoke it.
No. Like, I know the difference between hemp and hennep, and like, it's actually stupid that um weed and stuff like hennep it got like banned because you can make so many good stuff from it. You can make clothes and rope and everything from it, you know? Like it's stupid that it got banned.
Uh-oh. Elizabeth Warren is calling for an end to the Electoral College.
Oh, like everybody else. Like it's so stupid. Oh, Trump got elected because he got like elected because of the electoral vote. Now let's just ban it. Because hell, we don't want another Trump elected via that, right?
Well, I
Like
mean,
it's so stupid.
like if they take away the Electoral College, won't the vote will then rely on like 2 or 3 states only?
Not even states. It'll rely on a couple counties.
It's just stupid. Like it's constitutional.
How the fuck is that democracy?
It's
exactly.
not.
It's constitutional.
What they're actually advocating for is precise. What they're advocating for by doing a straight popular vote is exactly what they're trying. Yeah, what they're trying to advocate for is exactly what doing away with the electoral college will do.
To be honest, if you look at the candidates right now, Beto, Joe Biden, Elizabeth Warren, like come on, Trump is gonna win, electoral or popular. He's gonna win either way. Come on.
Yeah, I'm not worried about this election. I'm worried about I don't know, the next one. Because all these candidates are pretty young. They can try again once Trump can't.
What I'm worried about is 2024 because then that stupid what's her face name, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she'll be old enough.
Don't worry about her. She's in line to go to jail for campaign finance violations.
They say she's going to jail, but come on.
I mean,
It's not gonna happen.
Ilhan Omar would also be able to run as well, would she not?
Well, do you think she stands a chance?
No. Ilhan Omar, she was not. Was she a naturalized citizen born on U.S. soil?
I don't know.
No, she's born in Somalia, so.
Was she born an American citizen?
No, she's born in Somalia.
Then she cannot. If she was born an American citizen, that's what they mean. That's what they mean by the naturalized citizen. You basically have to be born a citizen.
Ah, okay. But Obama wasn't born in America, was he?
All right, Britt.
Obama. See.
Hi,
Britt.
Hi, Britt.
Bye,
Now
Bye, darling.
The big thing about Obama that nobody ever even realized is he was a naturalized U.S. citizen.
Yeah, but he wasn't.
It doesn't
born
matter.
In America, was he?
He was born to U.S. citizen. He was born to his mother was a U.S. citizen. That's enough.
Isn't it?
Unless her mother flat out renounced her citizenship, that's enough.
But isn't it the same with Omar? Like Omar's
no.
Omar.
I don't know. Both one of Ilhan Omar's parents has to be a U.S. citizen for her to be a natural born U.S. citizen.
Yeah, and she's not.
I don't think she was. I think both of her parents were born in Somalia, wasn't it?
Yeah, she spent a lot of her youth in a refugee camp.
This is the big question. It doesn't matter where you're born. Were you born to a U.S. citizen?
Well, these days it doesn't matter anymore. I think no.
One of Ilhan Omar's parents would have to be a U.S. citizen, and that's it. That's all it really is.
No, I think both of her parents were Somalian, weren't they?
Yes, they were. And the thing is that even if she can't run,
were they citizens of Somalia? It doesn't. Were they citizens of Somalia? Were either one of them a U.S. citizen?
No, both her parents are from Somalia.
I think they were Somalian.
Then she's not eligible. But even if she can't, 2020.
But it's not about Omar. It's about Cortez. Cortez is gonna run in not this time, but next election she's gonna run.
Is what we gotta worry about because
that's what. Yes, exactly. That's because she's gonna run for that time.
Oh, back in a sec.
Aww, Britt's probably called to say
Britt is calling him.
Oh, she's probably going, I love you, kiss, kiss. And he's probably sexting her pictures of his dick.
Oh, that's so cute. And the pictures of his dick is a little bit too much, but
well, he really has to increase the magnification for that. You know?
It's so cute though.
To make it look like a regular penis size.
Okay, I just tried to type blind girl into YouTube, and I don't even see your stream. I don't even see your channel.
Yeah, I'm not in the algorithm unless you type in blind trucking, and then the only one that pops up immediately is the GPP one.
Oh, okay, wait. Blind trucking. Because oh, wait, I see you now, yes.
Yeah, I'm not, for some reason, I'm not part of YouTube's algorithm, even though I stream every fucking day. Apparently, I'm just not cool enough yet to be part of YouTube.
That's so stupid.
I know, it's just so terrible. That damn YouTube. I guess people in my chat are going to have to share my shit, aren't they?
Yes. I actually shared your stuff with a friend of mine. I was like, watch this girl. She's so awesome. I haven't been on a lot of your streams for a couple days because you stream when it's 1 a.m. for me. So it's always I'm always like just lying down, and I'm like, oh, I need to sleep. I'm so tired. And then like the notification pops up. It's like, blind girl is streaming right now, and I'm like, oh, I need to say hi, And then I'm like, hi guys, and then like 30 minutes later, I just fell asleep. Like it's so stupid.
What was that, Trucker?
I was going to answer a question that Fishing Guy put up. The only two requirements that you have to fulfill to be to run for the president of the United States is you have to be a
35.
natural born citizen. And
Yeah, you
35.
have to be 35, yes. And Ocasio-Cortez is 29 now.
Right.
So
But she won't be eligible until 2024.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
No,
But
actually,
I can tell you for fucking sure that in 2024 she's gonna run. I can tell you right now.
we don't know that.
Yeah, I think we got to worry about the 2024 election. I'm not looking forward to it.
No, I do like I do think Trump has a really good chance of winning again. I've been a Trumper since like like I was one of those few people who believed in him, even though I honestly thought he was never gonna win. But I was still like, yay, Trump, Like, and then when he won, I actually like was almost crying because I was like, what the fuck? He actually won. But I think he has a better chance right now because he's done so many good things. Like if you look at unemployment stuff and stuff like that. But in 2024, I can tell you that bitch is gonna run. She's she has such a high like she's a narcissist, really. Like
Oh god, fuck her. But get this, Beto O'Rourke on third trimester
Beta.
abortion should be a decision that the woman makes. I really hope he doesn't win because this guy's a fucktard.
I think out of all the candidates right now, he and Joe Biden have the most chance of winning, if you know what I mean.
And Joe Biden, I don't really like him, but I don't think he'd be terrible.
Oh, come on, he's a creep.
Yeah, but out of all the candidates that could possibly win other than Trump, if it were between Beto O'Rourke or Joe Biden, I would prefer Joe Biden.
Honestly, I think Joe Biden is like I'm scared of him the most. If he would win, shit would go like down the drain again. Well, the same thing with Beto actually, but
oh god, Beto, he's such a sack of shit. I mean, even just last year, he's like, I'm not gonna run for president, and then this year, I'm running for president. He lied right there.
That is such a good point that you're making because he was like so adamant, like I'm not gonna run, like, and then now he's like, oh hi, I'm running, like it's stupid.
And then his past discretions for like DUIs and being part of a hacker group that was subtext to anonymous. Like,
did you read that poem that he read about cows?
Oh god. O'Rourke is probably higher than you are. Just saying.
I'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
And also, did you also read that poem thingy that he wrote about killing children? He was like, I'm driving on the road and I'm seeing like two kids walking and I'm hitting the gas and I'm like hearing the thump on my, like, what the fuck are you on about, bitch? Like, are you crazy?
He wrote a book about killing children with his car.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's like, I'm driving down the road and I'm seeing two children and I'm hitting my gas to hurt them. Like, what? Are you crazy?
Hood, I am standing there to reflect on the sounds of their dying bodies. And he's like, I'm very embarrassed about this, you guys. I'm very embarrassed.
I'm so embarrassed. Like, I was so young, blah, blah, blah. Like,
You're psychopaths. Good. Now we know not to vote for you.
Right? Yes.
Beta Auroric, man. I love how every time they talk about him on the Daily Wire, they play Nirvana "Smell Like Team Spirit," and I'm like, yep, that's fucking Beta Auroric right there.
Yeah. No, that's actually a good point that you have there,
yeah. Yeah. Israel's right-wing justice minister samples fascism perfume in bizarre campaign ad.
How can perfume be fascist?
I don't know, but they named their perfume brand fascism. And I guess the
Wow.
media, this is a scandal for some reason.
I see.
Because right now, Israel doesn't have a right to exist, don't you know?
But that's kind of stupid. Well, listen, I'm not an anti-Semitist, but I also don't condone what Israel does with Palestine and stuff.
Well, yeah, and I mean you can criticize Israel without being anti-Semitic, but you cannot say Jews pay their way through everything and not be anti-Semitic. Like you can't fault the individual Jew for what Israel does.
Exactly. Yeah.
But you can criticize Israel all you fucking want and not be anti-Semitic. And people haven't really figured out that that's the dividing line between hating Jews and just not agreeing with the Israeli government.
Yeah,
and that's
you actually make it sound so perfect. Like what you're saying is completely perfect. Like I totally agree with you 100%.
Yeah, I don't understand what. Oh, Mom, we covered this already. My mom sent me an article about people using sound waves to age cheese, and we covered this already. Apparently, cheese tastes better with music.
Cheese always tastes better with music. I'm Dutch and I'm from the cheese fucking city, so I will always defend cheese.
And Mom, I covered this a while ago as well, but a brewery is selling a beer that tastes just like Lucky Charms cereal. I commented and made fun of this about a month ago.
Oh, I saw that article about Lucky cereal beer. Like, what the fuck is wrong with people? Beer has to taste like beer, not like Lucky cereal. Come on.
Yep. Yeah, that's it's hilarious. Only because my autistic son is obsessed with Lucky Charms. So that the fact that they make a beer for it is just funny. Freaking hilarious. Let's see if I can check out some of these articles that Trucker sent me. I'm gonna do the looking for news song. I'm gonna sing the news song. Oh, never mind. That was Brit's Streamlink. Okay, never mind. That was not news. All right, let's go to my other stash. I like a bunch of news just stashed in different apps, and it takes me forever to figure them out. Da, 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 da. Da, da, da.
Yeah, I'll be right back because I'm gonna get a drink that does not taste like Lucky Charms because we don't even have Lucky Charms here.
Oh, no worries, no worries. I will be here doing the news song. So hi, chat.
All right, I'm back.
Oh, there we go. I got a co-host again. Woo! I was gonna say everybody just left me alone. I need Peter's "I'm All Alone" song.
Sorry, in my case, I had to take a blood wing.
Ah.
And when a truck driver has the ability to take a blood wing and needs to take a blood wing, you take a blood wing.
Did you say blood wing?
Yeah.
like Viking style?
No, blood wing isn't like blood wing. I had to pee. I had to pee in the middle of a stream.
I guess it's an American thing.
No, it's a Bloodwing thing.
Mm-hmm.
The YouTuber Bloodwing. He always has to pee because he's Bloodwing.
Yeah.
So I saw this news video today, and there was this reporter, and apparently the last ISIS stronghold is being overtaken by American troops. Apparently there's a small encampment with 30,000 people there, and there's tunnels underneath the tents to get them to where they need to go.
Uh-huh.
Which I went, what? So yeah, the people firing guns and shit, and there was a rebel media guy there, not getting shot, thankfully, and he's reporting on it. He's like, this is the last ISIS stronghold, and they originally thought there was 10,000 people that were part of the encampment, and learned that there was about 30,000 or more. And the reason why they didn't realize the numbers is because there's a tunnel system underneath the tents. And so now they're freaking out, going, oh no, there's a tunnel system under there. We're going to miss a few.
So it's the whole Viet Cong thing all over again?
Apparently. Welcome back, Peter. Did you have a nice kiss penis photo for your girl?
It wasn't anything like that at all. It wasn't even Brit. It was my wife.
Isn't Brit your wife?
That was supposed to be a joke that got no reaction, and then Rosie just made it even more awkward.
I'm sorry.
You got a quick chuckle out of me.
They had to do like the quick rub yourself on the stream thing kind of thing.
Whoa.
No.
Did you just say rub yourself on a stream?
You
No,
know,
I mean not on the stream. Oh my god.
Euphemism there, you know?
Oh.
She
so for the joke.
I mean, she left the stream and then she called Peter like, "Hey, I need to like come off before I go to sleep. Please, I need to stop speaking. Please stop me from speaking."
Rosie.
Oh god, Peter's voice just helps her polish that pearl. I'm so glad she's not here right now to hear all this shit. I really am.
Oh, she's listening.
Oh god. Oh god. I'm so sorry. But I'm kind of not, but I kind of am.
Oh my god.
Fucking hell.
Oh, you again.
Sorry.
Apparently this is news. I guess maybe conservatives are getting payback on this, but Obama White House counsel faces possible prosecution in Mueller-initiated probe. Because now they're going, so all this was fake, huh? I guess we're going to have to, point this the other way now and shoot back at you. And it's like, I feel like this is going to go nowhere too.
That actually would be such justice if they fucking finally found something and it pointed in Obama direction like
there's already proof of them doing it.
Well,
yeah,
remember the whole Steele dossier thing.
Yeah, with the Steele dossier, yes. Like if someone went after that, it would be so great because the whole Steele dossier, it's like how do you say that? Like an abomination. But nobody is talking about that. Like it's so stupid. It's like, is Clinton paid for? So let's not talk about that.
Actually, originally Jeb Bush paid for it.
Oh, really?
Rosie, were you thinking of the word aberration?
What does that mean?
An aberration. It's oh no, sorry, it is also the wrong word. Abomination's not right either, but
yeah, sorry.
I was thinking fabrication.
Hard for me.
Yeah,
it is a fabrication. Yes, that's the good word. Isn't it? Like it's made up, so it's a fabrication.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I can tell you the Dutch way.
Okay, Peter's a numbnuts. It's all right. You were right. Fabrication.
That's what Trucker said.
Oh, well, fine. Then Peter Still and Nuts and Trucker got it.
I was gonna say everybody's getting credit for my stuff today. What the hell?
So this is gonna be fun. Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, which by the way.
Yeah. Bernie Sanders speechwriter, 2013 op-eds. Let's hope that Boston Marathon bomber is a white American.
He said that?
Yeah.
In an email?
No, and apparently it was a speech written by somebody.
Oh, really? Wow, that is actually kind of big.
Yeah, like let's just hope that the bomber is a white American.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. They want those kind of, like, I'm not saying false flag, but like they just hope immediately when shit happens. It's like, oh, let's hope it's a white guy, you know?
Oh yeah. So apparently, the speechwriter with 2020 president candidate Bernie Sanders wrote, "Let's hope the Boston Marathon bomber is a white American," and then confidently doubled down hours later in a separate piece entitled, "I still hope the bomber is a white American."
Wow, that is big.
Yeah.
It's actually the same with what happened yesterday in the Netherlands. Like, if it would have been a white guy, like killing, like, because initially they said, there was another, like yesterday, there was a shooting in my country, right? And initially they said, oh, there was a shooting at a mosque in Utrecht. And they said, oh, this is a terrorist attack. They're shooting Muslims, blah, blah, blah. They closed all the mosques immediately. And initially, it was like, oh, this is like a guy killing Muslims. And it almost became like really, really big. And then, like, after a couple hours, it turned out to be a Turkish guy doing an honor killing. And all of a sudden, you don't hear anything about it anymore.
Yeah,
you know?
Well, the April 15, 2013 bombings, which killed 3 and injured dozens others, were perpetrated by names that I can't fucking pronounce. And the
exactly.
American brothers invoked extremist Islamic beliefs and said American military actions had motivated them. This Zonkindikar, a name I can't fucking pronounce, alphabet soup, stole that from Sinatra, has been sentenced to death, and was killed apparently. But the specific identity of the Boston Marathon bomber or bombers is not some minor detail. It will almost certainly dictate what kind of governmental, political, and societal response we see in the coming weeks. And so Bernie Sanders is going, I hope they were white.
Wow.
Yeah, he had hoped
that is so fucked up. Come on.
And then he did it again. He said it again.
It's not unusual.
Like, I still hoped they were white. And I'm just like, are you so far from reality that if you just keep hoping and dreaming and saying they were white, that it's going to change radical Islam?
Yeah, exactly. You make such a good point there. Like, why? Why hope for anything like that? Come on, it is so stupid.
Like, if all you take away from that tragedy is, I hope they're white, instead of, oh no, like, this is terrible, like, stop to this shit, instead of looking at the problem and how to solve it, you're just going, oh, I hope it's a fucking straight white male. And it's like, why? Because it didn't push your narrative? Are you shedding tears because your narrative is broken?
Yeah, exactly.
Your narrative is fucking broken, that you don't give a shit about dead people because it wasn't a straight white male. I can't possibly talk about this with truth.
Yeah, exactly. You make such a good point, honestly. Like, I agree with you 100%.
How any Americans can donate money to these campaigners, knowing just how blatantly fucking racist and sexist and just fucking brainwashy these people are. It's turning into a goddamn cult, and how people are donating money to these campaigns willingly. And
actually, you are so right about it. It's turning into a fucking cult.
It's really fucking.
You're listening to the Blind Trucking Fuck You Bernie Sanders special.
Well, come on, Bernie has nothing to offer, like absolutely nothing.
Well, except for free entitlement
No.
to expensive college.
Bernie Sanders has something to offer. He offers Putin for everyone.
Hero joke. I love you, trucker.
That was awesome.
I think.
Yes, my name is Bernie Sanders, and I bring tidings and pudding.
No, but
Bernie Sanders
enough money.
To be fair, every single candidate of the Democrat side, and they have many right now, but every single one of them are like idiots. Come on.
They are no better than Colonel Sanders and his chicken.
Right, exactly.
If we don't have the money, we will just print more. We will not deface the value of those elderly nest eggs, all of their money hiding under the mattress.
I am really, really against the Federal Reserve and like stuff like that, but the socialist side of Bernie Sanders and stuff, it's more mind-boggling than the whole Federal Reserve stuff, you know? Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Is there any Democratic candidate that is not a socialist?
That is not what? Sorry?
That is not a socialist. Is there any
candidate? Yes, there is one, but he's a blatant racist.
Which one is it?
And possible pedophile.
Which one is
Joe
it?
Biden.
Joe Biden is he's not a possible pedophile. He is one. Look at him.
Hold on. He's an old school Democrat. He's a Hillary Clinton style Democrat. So he's more gangster style than anything else.
Isn't he?
But he is a blatant.
I do want to point out that he hasn't officially confirmed, and I do want to point out that out of all the candidates, I am most scared of Joe Biden because
the thing
he has like 49% approval rate right now, I think.
The thing is, y'all asked which one was not a blatant socialist.
Yeah.
There's your answer.
Isn't
he might not be right now, but
Joe Biden is the Starbucks guy, right?
Joe Biden is the one who said you can't go to a Dunkin' Donuts or a 7.
He touches children all the time. Just YouTube Joe Biden creepy, and you will see like all those like videos where he's like touching children and people holding their children like from him, like don't touch my child, you know, like he's creepy.
He's also the one who there is tape on YouTube of him saying you cannot walk into a Dunkin' Donuts or a 7-Eleven in his district without a slight Indian accent.
He said that?
It's kind of
Yes.
true. It is kind of true.
That is true, yes.
No.
Well, I don't know.
No, it isn't.
Okay, well, it's
true
that is in Ottawa.
That is just so blatantly racist. He's also the guy He also looked and pointed to a guy in a wheelchair and told him to stand up and be recognized.
Really?
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh my god, that's
like doing a dance and going, "Come on, Ironhide, let's go."
Wow. So I've lived in a wheelchair for 2 years. I wasn't even like, I wasn't disabled. I just broke my leg like really, really bad, and I couldn't walk for 2 years. And saying that about someone in a wheelchair, come on, like that's bad.
Yeah,
he said it.
Bad.
I genuinely thought you were going to say I was in a wheelchair for 2 years, not because I'm disabled, but because I'm just fucking lazy.
No, no.
Okay, you know
No,
how hard
I
it is to
broke
wheel
my
around
leg
in a
really,
wheelchair?
really badly.
Rosie,
Hard to wheel a fucking wheelchair. It is not laziness, my friend.
Hey,
well,
listen to this. I broke my leg really, really badly, and I had to drag my wheelchair 3 times a day because I live upstairs. So I had to drag my wheelchair down
Drag it.
every
Just
day
be like monkey.
because I had to walk my dog. Yeah.
Be like monkey and fall down him. You'll get there faster.
Yeah.
I actually did that a couple times. A couple times I was just like, fuck it. I just threw the wheelchair down the stairs.
I was more like just
Hazel,
throwing yourself down the stairs, but yeah.
yeah. Hazel, when Biden looked to the guy in the wheelchair and told him to stand up, that is while he was vice president. And his Dunkin' Donuts / 7-Eleven comment was while he was running for vice president.
Wow.
And
You mean
also,
while running for during the Obama time? You mean?
yes.
Uh,
And Biden is also the guy who said Obama speaks well for a black man.
But so Joe Biden is not the Starbucks guy. Who's the Starbucks guy?
Huh?
Who is the Starbucks guy?
the Starbucks guy
I don't.
is that guy that was
I don't.
in the commercials all the time, and he turned out to be a pedophile.
Oh no,
Yeah, but
that
he's
was Subway.
That's Subway.
yeah,
Oh,
but
Subway. Oh, okay. Sorry, I got
yeah, but
confused.
okay, so I didn't mean Joe Biden. Then it's the Subway or the Starbucks guy that's running that I wouldn't mind.
Who's the Starbucks guy?
The guy that
Yeah.
owned Starbucks that is running that the Dems got pissed off saying they'd split the vote.
Oh, yeah, but I think he's. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Who?
I know who you're talking about. I can't remember his name. Out of any of the Democrats, I don't
Starbucks
really have
guy.
a problem with him, especially
Wasn't
considering
he
he
a pedophile
is
also?
He's a self-made, isn't he?
no. Yes,
Yeah, like he's
the
the one that I
CEO,
wouldn't
the
have a
CEO of
problem with.
Starbucks. Yeah, the CEO of Starbucks. I wouldn't have a problem with him because he basically managed to
Schultz.
find a way to get all the socialist types, all the leftists, all the hippie types, and get them to pay $7 for a cup of coffee that tastes like the stuff that 7-Eleven throws out because it's nasty.
There we go. Howard Schultz. That's the one that I wouldn't mind if
Whatever.
he won. That was the guy. I was fucking it up with Joe Biden. I did not mean Joe Biden. I meant Howard Schultz.
Ah, okay.
Hmm.
He's an asshole
Well,
as
the
well.
sad part,
Didn't he write
the
Peanut?
sad part is when it all boils down to it, the one guy I'm going to vote for, I don't think he's even declared yet.
Oh, guys,
It may be, huh?
I have to vote tomorrow morning. Like
Okay.
voting is happening tomorrow morning in my country,
What's the vote for?
and I have no idea who to vote for because the only person on the right is Wilders, and I hate him so much.
Can I give you a piece of advice then?
Yes,
If you don't know who,
please.
if you're not 100% sure who you're going to vote for, don't.
Yeah, I actually told my mother yesterday, like, Mom, I'm not sure who to vote for because the only person I want to vote right. I'm not a right wing person, you know, like I'm not like extremely right, but in Netherlands we only have like two options: vote really really left or vote really really right. But I'm not sure who to vote for, so I'm thinking now I'm not gonna vote. But we have voting tomorrow morning.
So who's the guy you're gonna vote for, Trucker?
Well,
You were
if
about to
it's,
say you're gonna vote.
I've heard he's running, but I've got a strong leaning towards John McAfee.
Oh, the
And
antivirus
who is
guy.
this guy?
Yes.
Like Mr. Kill C1 says gotta love Geert. I am Dutch and I only love Geert because he speaks out, but he doesn't have charisma. He doesn't have like the thing that I want to vote for, if you know what I mean. Geert Wilders, he is like Trump, but without the charisma, if you know what I mean. And it sucks. We have nobody to vote for, basically. That's basically it, because the only person I can vote for is him, but he's a horrible person, you know?
Not voting actually shows more in the numbers. It shows more than voting, than going in there and blindly
Yes,
voting for
but
someone.
if I don't vote,
Autism is not a
all
disability.
the all if I don't vote, like all the people that don't vote in my country, I don't know if it's the same in America, but if I don't vote tomorrow, then the non-votes, like everybody that doesn't vote, their vote will go to the biggest party, if you know what I mean.
Okay, what do you mean autism is not a disability, and what was just redacted?
Fuck. No, I tried to delete it before you saw it.
Oh, I saw it. Oh, I fucking see that. Mr.
Wait,
King, please
I'm
explain yourself.
I'm a mod
Oh,
in
it's
here.
on.
Like,
I
I
mean,
can
technically we're supposed to end 2 minutes ago, but it's now on. What do you mean autism is not a disability, dude? What are you talking about? We're technically running late now, and I'm okay for this one because this is something I have extreme knowledge in. This is something I'm ready for.
Yes, please
yourself.
explain yourself, because blind girl's child is your child.
Severely autistic to the point where he is handicapped in the non-function of being able to speak, the non-function of being able to not shit himself, and he needs assistance with a fork. So please tell me how autism is not a goddamn disability.
Exactly. Yes, I'm all the way with blind girl in this, so please tell us. He's silent now. Like he's like, oh fuck. Oh, he's like, oh fuck me. I said something bad.
Rosie, there's a delay between what we say and when they hear it.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand that. I just saw him deleting messages.
He didn't delete the message. I did.
No, Trucker did.
Okay.
He suffers a bit of autism. That's why he lacks in a little bit of charisma.
Who is he talking about?
Well, no, I mean that, but she didn't say, I am not going to vote for him because he lacks charisma because of autism. She just said he didn't like the way he speaks. And just because you don't like the way somebody speaks doesn't necessarily mean you're taking a dig at autism, especially since I highly doubt that Rosie knew he had autism.
Oh, you're talking about Wilders? No. I never ever said he has autism, so I don't vote for him. All I'm saying is that like what is happening right now? I never meant to.
So what happened is essentially you said that the person you wanted to vote for doesn't have charisma, and what Mr. King is saying is, well, the reason why he lacks a little bit of charisma is because he has autism. And what I'm saying
No. What I'm trying to say, like, okay, listen to this. I am Dutch and I hate Dutch politics because we have the same prime minister for like the last like 15 years or something. He wants to be the head of European Union, and that's why he is trying to like suck up American ass, and you know, like he's sucking up ass like everywhere. um I never ever said that he is autism or anything.
No, like, but he is saying is that the reason why he may come off with bad charisma is because he has autism. But maybe a better way to say he lacks charisma because of autism, so that people can empathize and understand that a bit. Instead of saying autism is not a disability, you might just say, well, the reason why he lacks in a bit of speaking knowledge is because he does have autism. The way you present
Okay. I would. Okay, listen. As a Dutch person, I would never say he lacks like anything. All I'm saying is that he has uh fuck. This is getting so political, and all I'm saying is that the only person on the right on my country is Geert Wilders, and I have to vote for him even though I don't like him. Because
but
he's
now Mr. King is kind of taking it on a personal level, because that was a loaded
okay.
statement.
I do
Autism is not a disability is a loaded statement. And now he thinks he deserves an apology because we took it the wrong way, and that's the way civil discourse goes.
For me, it has nothing to do with autism or anything like that. I'm sorry if you feel like that. I'm really sorry if you feel like that.
Somebody rubs you the wrong way, to then go, yeah, but they're autistic, that's bad. It's like, okay, I'm sorry that they have autism, but just because I think they rub me the wrong way does not mean that I am in any way, shape, or form discrediting for their autism. And
wait, let me address this. Mr. Kill C1.
Yeah, Mr. Kill C. Look, hang on.
Okay, Mr. Kill C1. I have never ever expressed my all I'm doing is expressing my own point of view. I'm Dutch, so I'm expressing my own views. It's not something Blind Girl says. It's not something like anyone in this chat says. I'm just expressing my own feelings as a Dutch person. But I never try to attack you or jump on you.
Oh no, that was me. That was me. Autism is a very personal thing for me.
Yeah,
and so
I know it is for you.
I didn't understand the context of when you were saying autism is not a disability. But that statement in and of itself, out of the context of what you're saying, I completely and utterly disagree with. Only because whenever somebody says disability, they automatically say, well, you're being negative. And it's like, no. I'm just acknowledging that they have problem areas that give them a handicap towards certain situations. And so, yes, autism is in fact a disability. Yeah. And so I'm going to address that the way I address that. In the context of what Rose was saying, where the way that he speaks rubs her the wrong way, or she gets the wrong vibe, or the way he speaks kind of doesn't represent her way of voting or whatnot, to say, yeah, well, he's autistic, so you shouldn't get upset about the charisma part. Unfortunately, that's a part of politics. And if somebody rubs the wrong way, regardless if they have autism or not, that's just a face value opinion that we offer everybody. And if people with autism want to be treated equally, then to say, well, you know what, the way you speak doesn't really speak to me, isn't a testament to their autism, but just a testament to the fact that you don't agree with them as a whole. And so to say, well, because you don't like the charisma because of the fact that they have autism, that is conflating two very different things. And you need to be very careful of that, because she's not saying I don't like his charisma because of his autism. She's saying I don't like the way that he speaks to me as a person, and I do not want to vote for him. And saying that is because of autism, or conflating that, is not a very wise decision.
And this is why I like Blind Girl so much, because she always hits like I don't know how to say it in English, but what I'm trying to say is like she hits the needle on the point every single time.
She hits the nail on the head.
Yes, exactly. Like I completely agree with you, Blind Girl, like 100%.
But on that note, we are running late. So anything to shill or any questions to the audience? And I'm very sorry that we rubbed each other the wrong way, Mr. Kilsey. I don't I didn't mean to jump on you for that. It's just autism for me is a very specific emotion. It invokes a certain reaction from me, which is probably why Trucker deleted it, because he knows I will go crazy because I'm a bit of an asshole that way.
You're not an asshole. You're an awesome person. You are an awesome person. Don't feel bad.
I'll sit on the fence with that last one and say, Blind Girl, you're an awesome asshole.
You're an awesome asshole. Yes, I love you being an asshole. Like, I love you for that.
Well, the
Like,
fact that
that's why I try.
have,
Like, that's why I try. I'm such a bitch sometimes. Like, even with you, Peter. Like, if you're streaming and you're streaming like Sonic, I'm like, oh fuck that. I
fuck
don't
that
even
shit,
care.
it's Sonic.
You know, but like when Blind Girl is streaming, I'm like always trying to like watch it because I'm like always like, oh shit, yes, I need to watch that shit, you know?
Oh, thank you. And MC Kill, you know what? Autism is a very complex thing. And I find that you with high functioning autism able to come on YouTube and express your opinions. I respect that. I respect anybody with autism being able to invoke conversation because I know how difficult that can be. So I am very empathetic to the autism spectrum, but I'm also very of the autism spectrum because I know that there can be a lot of. I did a video on it actually. If you look at my video history, I did a video about autism acceptance. I encourage you to go check that out if you want to see my stance on autism. But if you ever want to talk or join us or give a point of view on that, it's a topic that I am very, very passionate about. So,
yes, and Blind Girl is the most amazing girl that you can ever meet because she is so fucking awesome.
Thank you for kissing my ass. I enjoy it.
I am kissing your ass like I'm licking it like Oh God.
Yeah. That's one for the bank later.
Oh, Jesus.
Don't fucking put that either.
Bye, Mom. And I don't think that you suffer from autism. I think that you live with it, and the fact that you're here is a testament to you being able to live with it. And
I really hope that you being in the stream like you do every single night, I hope that you are so awesome that people understand that you are not biased, you are not you don't take a stand for right or left. You read a news article and you give your own opinion. It's not right or left. I think that you do such an amazing job just being really, like, how do you say that in English? Like, bipartisan, I think. Like, you always.
I never knew the definition to that word bipartisan until you explained it. So anytime someone's like, that's bipartisan, I'm like, I don't understand what you mean.
All
But
I know is that you look at things and you make it seem, you give your own opinion, and I really like that about you.
Thank you very kindly, Rosie.
Yeah, you look left, you look right, and then you cross the road.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you are not left or right. You just give your own opinion, and I really, really like that about you.
Well, thank you kindly. Peter, we got some shilling?
My links are in the description. So come and have a look at my channel, see the shit I do.
It's awesome shit. It's gold-plated shit.
Don't look at Peter's stuff because he
Love you too, Rosie. Love you.
Trucker, we got some shilling.
Well, Pumpkin Trucker channel, links in the description. Daily dash cams. Start up Thursday because, well, tomorrow I get to play with my little boy.
It's going to be so adorable.
Please all look at Pumpkin Trucker's daily channel because I am Dutch and sometimes I wake up and I see truckers like oh, I'm heading out to like this type of like city or state, and I'm like, oh damn, I need to see what kind of weather it is, like I always love watching his stream. So please watch Trucker's stream. His stream is always awesome.
You are so high. All right, on that note.
I'm high. I told you that. Like,
please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for
like, share, subscribe. I've never like this is funny because I've never like been at the end of your streams, but yes, please like, share, subscribe to everyone in the stream, like Pumpkin Trucker, like Blind Girl, Blind Press, everybody. Just
I love how she doesn't mention Peter. She's like, I'm gonna ignore that. Just ignore Peter.
I love Peter. Like and subscribe to Peter as well. I love all of you bitches. I love you all. Mwah.
All right.
And of course, if you want to subscribe to Rosie, hop over to Chatterbait. She does nightly shows.
Please don't subscribe to me.
Yeah.
Okay, so just go to her Chatterbait and watch anonymously. That's...
I love all of you. You're all amazing. I wish I could hug every single person. Like, I wish I could hug Blind Girl and Draco and Peter. I love all of you guys. I love you so much.
Yep, and thank you, Britt, for coming on earlier. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you again tomorrow night.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
See ya.